Hello students, welcome to science class. So today I am going to give you a quick recap of lesson number 6, physical and chemical change. I hope you all are sitting with textbook. If not, so take out your science textbook and open page number 58. Let's begin chapter 6, physical and chemical change. So as you know, and in 6th standard you have learned also that changes are of two types, physical and chemical change. So first, physical change. Before telling you about physical change, let's learn about physical properties. So what are physical properties? So properties such as shape, size, color and state of a substance are called its physical properties. Again, one question is there, what are physical properties? So properties such as shape, size, color and state of a substance are called its physical properties. Now physical change. So a change in which a substance undergoes a change in its physical properties is called a physical properties. It means when changes happen in physical properties of a substance, like shape, when you cut something into a smaller or bigger shape, or size, when you change the color of a substance, or when you change the state of a substance like liquid, solid, gas. So these all are physical properties. When change occur on physical properties of a substance, this change is called a physical change. And a physical change is generally reversible. In such a change, no new substance is formed. For example, tearing of paper. When you tear a paper, what happens? Its only shape and size will change, but no new substance is formed from this change. So this is a physical change. Now wetting of cloth or drying of cloth, that is also a physical change. It is reversible. If cloth is wet, you can dry it, and if your cloth is dry, you can wet it. So this is generally a reversible. Again, physical change is generally reversible. In such a change, no new substance is formed. Now chemical change. So before give you knowledge about chemical change, let's do one or two activities. For example, have you heard about rusting of iron? So when you place a piece of iron in open air or open moisture, so what you see, that you see after some days a brownish color substance acquire on the iron, and this substance is called rust. So rust is totally different from iron. So this is also that new substance. Now one more thing, when you burn magnesium ribbon in open air in the presence of oxygen, so what will happen? It burns with a brilliant white light, and after burning it, it leaves behind a powdery ash. It means that magnesium ribbon burn and it leave behind a powdery ash. It means that powdery ash and magnesium ribbon, these two are totally different from each other. So it means the magnesium ribbon, it means Mg, it burns in the presence of oxygen. It means plus oxygen gives magnesium oxide. Now this ash is magnesium oxide, MgO. Now what you have to do, now collect this magnesium oxide, powdery ash of magnesium ribbon, then put some water in it and make a solution. So this is called magnesium oxide. So now this magnesium oxide also totally different from magnesium hydroxide is totally different from magnesium oxide. Now this is also a new substance. One more, Now again take some copper sulfate solution. It is of blue color. Now put one iron things, for example some blade or nail, into that solution. After some time you can see, now you can add some sulfuric acid, dilute sulfuric acid also in it. Now after some time you can see that a blade or a nail turn into brown color, and that solution of a copper sulfate, which was earlier blue in color, its colors also change. Now it is now green in color. So that color of a solution also change. And one more thing, that iron also now turns into brown color. It means that brown deposit also there on nail or a blade. So this is also a new substance. Now what happened to the lime water? Next is what happened to the lime water when carbon dioxide passed through it. So again, when carbon dioxide passed through milky water, it turns lime water, it turns milky. So when carbon dioxide is passed through lime water, calcium carbonate is formed. It means which makes lime water milky. So what happened when you pass carbon dioxide through the lime water? So when carbon dioxide is passed through the lime water turns milky. Why? Because calcium carbonate is formed. So a change in which one or more new substances are formed is called a chemical change. Again, a change in which one or more new substances are formed is called a chemical change. So now you can write the difference between physical change and chemical change. Physical change, no new substance is formed, and in chemical change, one or more new substances are formed. Now in physical change, generally it is reversible, and chemical change it is irreversible. So what you have learned from these activities, does this all activities or changes you can say different from physical change? Yes, because in physical change no new substance is formed, and in these all changes new substances are formed. So it is different from physical change. It means that physical change and chemical change. Again, difference between physical change and chemical change. Physical change is generally reversible and chemical change is irreversible. In physical change, no new substances form, and in chemical change, one or more new substances are formed. See here, one more topic is there, rusting of iron. So rusting of iron, earlier I told you what is rusting. So when you put iron substance in open air or in moisture, the brown color substance acquire on the iron, and this brown substance is called rust, and the process is called rusting. So this is rusting of iron. It means this is one change that affect iron particles slowly and destroy it. But you know that iron is used in making bridges, ships, cars, trucks, bodies and many other articles. So it means that loss due to rusting is very huge. So first, when the process of rusting can be represented by the following equation. Here equation also given on page number 63. Iron, it means Fe plus oxygen O2 from the air plus water, or we can say that moisture H2O, then it acquire rust, iron oxide Fe2O3, and it is here very Important to remember this: for rusting, the presence of both oxygen and water is essential. For rusting, the presence of both oxygen and water is essential. So now, as I told you, the iron is widely used in making bridges, ships, cars and trucks and many other articles. So that loss also due to rusting is very huge. Because of that, how to prevent this rusting? So how to prevent iron articles from coming in contact with oxygen or water or sometimes both? So one simple way is to apply a coat of paint or grease on the iron to prevent it from the oxygen or moisture. It means coat should be applied regularly to prevent rusting. And another one more way also there, to deposit a layer of metal like chromium or zinc on iron. Now this process of depositing a layer of zinc on iron is called galvanization. Again, page number 64. What is galvanization? So the process of depositing a layer of zinc on iron is called galvanization. So here you know that iron pipe also we use in our homes to carry water. So to prevent that pipes also from rusting, we use this galvanization process. Means the iron pipes which we use in our homes to carry water are galvanized to prevent rusting. And one more thing. So the salt water also makes the process of rust formation very much faster. Therefore, ships suffer a lot of damage from rusting in spite of being painted. So that's why only ship's iron has to be replaced every year. It means that much of the loss to the world. Now one more topic is there, that is crystallization. Crystallization you have learned in 6th standard also, that evaporation method. Because of that evaporation, because of that heat of the sun, that water from the sea will get evaporated, and whatever salt in sea water, it remain there only, and in this way salt obtained in this way. So this salt is not, these crystals of salt is not pure. It's not pure and cannot be seen clearly. So however, large crystal of pure substances can be formed from their solution, and this process is called crystallization. Again, large crystals of pure substances can be formed from their solution. So the process is called crystallization. And crystallization also an example of physical change. Remember that crystallization also an example of physical change. So here you have learned about physical change and chemical change. Now in your surrounding also many changes are there. So try to identify the changes that you observe around you, whether it is physical change or chemical change. See, now changes can be of two types. Again, it's very simple. Changes can be of two types: physical change and chemical change. Now physical change are changes in the physical properties of a substance, No new substances are formed in this change, and this change may be reversible. Again, what are physical properties? Properties of shape, size, color and state are called physical properties, and physical changes are changes in the physical properties of a substances. In physical change, no new substance is formed, and these changes may be reversible. Now chemical change. In chemical changes, new substances are produced, and chemical changes are irreversible. Now crystallization. Some substances can be obtained in pure state from their solutions by crystallization. So students, here your recapitulation of term 1 lessons is over. Go through the videos for better understanding, and still if you have any doubt, any query, you can write in comment box. All the best for your exams. Thank you.